that Chanel Jaques was a level designer for Quake 2. Her levels, while still gimped by excessive stop signs, do a better job of letting the player explore around more than the rest of the game does. This implies that a broader philosophy was applied on Quake 2, which required the player do things in specific orders, likely to keep scope in check. A game that lets you go wherever you want is not a game you can simply crunch out in time for the holidays. There's just too many systems requiring accommodation to make it work.
True.
It's probably why Quake 2 is the way it is. On top of that, Chanel Jaques was recruited specifically by Sandy Peterson to take someone's place shortly before his own departure. This likely left Chanel Jaques as an outsider with no influence to change the game's rigid structure. They had already decided Quake 2 wasn't about exploration, it was about big set pieces. To zoom out even further, Carmack's engine-first mindset constantly strained what was even feasible for the game designers to implement. They couldn't add too much stuff because Carmack would regularly bulldoze design work with his engine changes. They could lose any AI behavior or weapon functionality over any given weekend because the engine was a moving target and features were the constant collateral damage. Quake 2 was shaping up, once again, to become a floor model for the engine it ran upon, rather than the engine being built to serve any specific design ideas.
Yeah, Quake, as I understand it, the Quake engine with John Carmack, he really, really wanted it to be more. And always was changing it. He wanted it to be so much more. Oh, shit. I gotta fucking, nope, don't, nope. I gotta fix this. Hold on. There we go.
The end result is a well-crafted hollow automaton where the Tin Man was built sturdy but no heart was to be found. By 1997, hardware acceleration had found its way to the home console, but not yet to the video games of the home PC, which made Carmack's implementation of it for id Tech 2 genuinely a big deal. Advancements to the engine's
Really? Hardware acceleration existed in the consoles before the PC gaming scene, huh?
dynamically colored light sources was also a very
Oh, what's up? This is funky. He's doing like a study on Quake. It's really interesting. I was watching it and I just had to finish it. I was like, fuck it. He's cool. He does like very in-depth analyses and metacritical shit on games and stuff like that. I found him doing Gears studies back in the day.
graspable visual upgrade from Quake 1 to Quake 2. The field of programming leaps is the proper language to speak of Quake 2 in. I won't even try to pretend that's my field, but it's also not fair to dismiss the front-end game design principles that were largely ignored in favor of pursuing some artificial visual spectacle. Dynamic lighting wasn't added to give the level designers a requested feature, it was added because Carmack felt like adding it on a whim.
The Quake engine was very quick in how it evolved. It's amazing they shot out, 4 games in the span of how many years? When Carmack was just upgrading the engine so much. That's a great point. That's actually really good. And I didn't even notice that. That's crazy that it does have dynamic lighting in
principles that were largely ignored in favor of
Look at this
pursuing
shot.
some artificial visual spectacle.
I guess I could make it in 60 FPS now. We were having issues the other day with it, man. That's why. I'd have to restart, though. Do I restart it to set into 60 now? Just keep it at 30. I didn't even turn on my background. Well, here's $5 from Jeff Bezos. Does it look okay though, Matt? Like, doesn't look bad, does it? It's already starting.
It's insane.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Bezos. You deliver my packages. You give me $5. Yep. I'll keep it at 30 for now. It was only frozen because War Dogs was just for some reason taking up so much of my GPU. And it couldn't take it. Okay, we'll just keep it right now. If I play other games, it won't do that. Huh. Back when we were having Crimson Desert issues, I bet I could have done that too. Dang, I didn't even think about that back then. Well, let me turn on the background. Boom.
Dynamic lighting wasn't added to give the level designers a
look at that.
requested feature. It was added because Carmack felt like adding it on a whim. Quake 2 contains only a surface level of curiosity towards its own structure. They slowed down the combat but failed to meaningfully justify that choice with any sort of trade-off. Enemies don't require any more methodology to kill now. You aren't rewarded for identifying vulnerabilities any more than you were in Quake 1.
You just
Enemies
shoot 'em.
just die slower.
Yep, and movement was slower and sloppier. Damn, that is true.
They
That
were
is how long
curious
it
enough
takes
to
to kill
unify
it.
the levels, but everything is locked, and there's no consistent internal language tipping the player off to what pathways are dead ends and which doors are actually relevant. The F1 computer is the closest thing to a quest compass, and even that is cryptically unhelpful most of the time. To top all of it off,
I didn't even
Quake
know
2
there was
somehow
that.
tells a story in a way that is thematically far worse and less memorable than that of the original Quake. Between each unit of levels, you get a short cutscene conveying the next mission you're loading into.
Yeah, because Quake was like a sci-fi, gothic, dark kind of fantasy shooter, where this one was just homogenized, like forget-me-not sci-fi.
These cutscenes are all
John Romero
generic
wasn't there.
sci-fi slop. I'm not going to act like Quake explained its levels much better, but the Lovecraftian Middle Ages did at least carve out a thematic niche for Quake, in such a way that its absence was extremely noticeable throughout the sequel. Quake 1's theme was circumstantial to the artists being told to try on a few hats while the engine and levels got built. Gothic sci-fi came less from planning and more from those two themes being very straightforward to design generic assets for. Quake 2 scraps the cool half of that equation and then just does nothing with the other half. And I'm not even gonna say anything for this clip, just watch. This game sucks! Quake was already kind of hitting the limits of novelty by being a Doom-like with no significant additions, but it did manage to ride the momentum of doing weird little tricks all the time. id Software could not reasonably milk that cow much longer, but instead of actually committing to significant gameplay changes, it doubled down. Quake 2 refused to evolve the player experience beyond flipping levers and collecting keys, and it introduces nothing between the seams to compensate for that. This game only exists so that the engine would have a car, because without a car, why even have an engine? And while they did slowly adopt change, the refusal to truly experiment is most palpable for me in the body of work Quake 2. Without getting too lost in the weeds, late id Software had once gathered around to see an early iteration of a little toolset being cobbled together on the Quake engine. American McGee let out an audible
look at these little
lost
fucking
in the weeds.
look at these little
id
models
Software had once
of all the
gathered
of the Dream Team for two: American McGee, John Romero, Stephen Williamson, American McGee,
together
Stephen
on
Williamson, John Carmack, John Romero.
Engine. American McGee let out an audible wow, to which everyone in the room scowled at him. The thing they all saw, the thing which elicited such tension, would eventually become Valve's Half-Life. This scenario, if accurate, is deeply illuminating to the downfall of id Software. If these guys saw a concept that willingly stepped a single inch beyond games as shooting gallery and immediately nailed their colors to the mast over it, then it's no wonder why everything about Quake 2 is visually competent but soulfully mediocre.
Yeah,
it's no wonder Quake 3 Arena's single player was like a bot mode for the multiplayer. Great game, but what? The people with the influence to push for more had long since been pushed out of the company. Tom Hall was gone. Romero was gone. McGee was soon to be gone. The people left in power just weren't looking to tell a story. In a manner of speaking, Quake has no literal success.
Highly recommend anyone who doesn't know the story to Quake and Doom. And there's a book that was written about it that I've read. It's really, really interesting.
Successor. But spiritually speaking,
I don't want to play Daikatana. Fucking Daikatana. The Daikatana music. Fuck. Play it. I wouldn't play Daikatana today if you paid me. For those of you who don't know, Daikatana was the game that John Romero went off and made his first game after he left id Software.
I can't leave without Makiko and Superfly.
I can't leave without
happens
my
when
buddy
an overly
Superfly.
ambitious lead with a revolving door of developers comes into just enough funding to bankroll a studio and, specifically, enough to greenlight a game where every single pitched idea makes it in, even when it shouldn't, and everyone is forced to remake the game specifically so it runs on Carmack's Quake 2 engine rather than Quake 1's.
You get Daikatana!
That's your ass later.
Superfly! I can't leave without my buddy Superfly!
Following Quake, Romero wanted to make a 3D game that wasn't just another FPS shooter. All the way back before Quake, he spoke at lengths about wanting interconnected play spaces, cutscene, dimensional hop mechanics, narrative stakes, RPG features.
Overscoped.
He wasn't able to
wanted
make
it
any
to
of
be
those
everything.
things for Quake, but at Ion Storm, Romero more or less called the shots now. But with that came a greater responsibility for overseeing more than just the tools and levels, for which Romero historically handled back at id. Daikatana demanded story direction, art direction, mechanical scope, and this time he had to do it all without Carmack down the hallway handling the engine side in parallel. This proved especially fatal when Ion Storm was blindsided by id Tech 2. The game they started building was running on the ancient Quake 1 engine, so if they wanted the real bells
Oh my
and
god,
whistles,
this is the game he wanted to make. Yeah, more melee focused combat with like dark fantasy dimensional hopping. I didn't know there was actually like a build they had of an early test of some dog shit like this. Man, look at that UI. This is some poop UI.
they'd have to basically transition engines in the middle of production, which they did, which tripled production time.
Yeah, it took forever for them to make Daikatana.
Our philosophy is that design is law, and
Oh my god, John Romero, look at you. You're so young. You're so old now. He's been very humbled now. There's many accounts of people who work with him at the studio he works at now that don't work there anymore, that worked with him and was able to talk to him on like lunch breaks and stuff like that. He's very down to earth man, as I understand it. Very cool to talk to and very, very humble now. Very humble. He has definitely learned from his mistakes.
we'll use whatever technology
And he
that, we
does
can
not want to be a manager position at all.
license to help the game along to just be really great looking, and the graphics, the weapons, the artifacts, the monsters, the levels, the graphics, the monsters, the graphics, and
Down the fucking hole.
graphics. Coming!
I want it to be over! I want it to be
the
over!
graphics.
Sucks.
Graphics.
If all of that wasn't bad enough, Romero no longer had a team of ironclad allies to lean on the same way he could id Soft's alumni.
Yeah, there's new talent.
Ion Storm was scrappier. It had constant turnover, and it self-evidently lacked a unified design doc, or at the very least, there were too many cooks following too many recipes. Daikatana's scope crept up more and more until what remained became unsustainable. It's an open-ended shooter where the player has a JRPG party with an experiential skill system. It
Yep.
opens with a 10-minute cutscene that hypes up the player's sword, which is a narrative MacGuffin, but mechanically it's an uninteresting weapon. Daikatana is
Yeah,
a
it doesn't
game
do
about
anything in the
shepherding
game.
companions who are literally too fucking stupid to keep up with you. I
I can't leave without my buddy Superfly.
I need that? You think I need more of that in my life? But I will defend Daikatana in that it clearly retained a sense of curiosity about game design. Plague Village presented an interconnected hub level much in the way of Quake 2, but it was bold enough to actually let the player wander around it with no strict path of progress. The level asks the player to collect 3 scattered keystones. This objective, while not far removed from the button sequences of Quake, does rightfully reward a player for thoroughly exploring without worrying about order. The openness that makes Daikatana cool is also the thing that makes the game fucking suck. The necessary keys of Plague Village are hidden away in extremely easy to miss locations, and the game does nothing to correct a player who misses their signal. Traveling between zones requires dragging your deadweight companions back and forth, which is its own nightmare, but even when you're near a key, you never totally know where the fuck it even is.
Yeah, where is that
Wandering
open?
around Plague Village isn't particularly fun, and so I, as a player, kind of just end up stressed out that I'm constantly walking past the important thing, because Daikatana buries important information under a mountain of vapid freedom. The very first level of Daikatana may possibly
Very
be
important information under a mountain of vapid freedom. That's pretty fucking good.
the worst
Way to
introduction
describe
to a
it.
video game and its systems I've ever seen in my entire life. There's plenty of people who can tell you why. For our purposes, let's focus on one specific moment early on. The player approaches a
remember this
bridge where their
weapon.
eye is immediately
Weapon
drawn to
sucks.
a vehicle in the sky and some sort of force field to cross a bridge. The player's eye is drawn towards the things that seem important. None of this shit is important. The progress point is downward in a little water hole. The game literally wants you to look up while thinking down. Welcome to Daikatana. This thing looks pretty important. It isn't. It's a red herring. I remember this point where I was saving
vent
Superfly
on
and
the
I had to
wall.
like break a battery, but I couldn't find it, so I was just like shooting whatever looked the most obvious. Till I give up, I look up a walkthrough, and the walkthrough guy also can't find the solution. He shoots the same shit that I did.
You know nightmares. Only from substitutes.
In traditional art, there's a
substitutes.
technique called leading the eye. It presents itself in any number of ways, but broadly speaking, it is the act of compositing in such a way the viewer's attention is drawn to a point of interest, or guided along some natural trajectory.
Breath of the Wild
You
was
can do
good at
this
that.
with, like, brightness, lighting, shape language, stroke direction, subject density. Cinematography adds the components of motion and even sound. Anything that makes somebody look somewhere. This technique is particularly valuable in game design because it draws emphasis onto whatever is most important in gameplay. At its most extreme, this technique risks entering yellow tape territory where the player is
Yellow
guided
tape.
so obtusely that
Yep.
it risks patronizing them, while the other extreme is just getting lost. Visual guidance isn't necessary for a good game, but Daikatana evidently lacks it and suffers for it. But the biggest problem is debatably a wildly inconsistent design language. Some objects use an interact button, some objects you step on, some objects you bump into, some objects look interactable but they aren't, but nothing remotely conveys which is which. So one coffin is purely cosmetic while another requires you stand on it. One platform requires the player stand on it
Weird.
while another requires your AI companion stand on it. Some grates can be destroyed, some can't.
Watch out for the meat
I
grinder, hero.
can't.
It's slippery up there.
What the? Oh no!
Oh
Hero
no!
got blown down!
If I had to
Superfly.
guess, Ion Storm likely had a lot of different designers contributing to a lot of different sections of the game. They
Yeah.
probably didn't follow a unified design doc telling them the hard rules of how to standardize object interactions, and because of that, the game itself operates off of unstandardized logic that turns every single interaction into a dice roll of what the fuck do you actually want me to press here? To give Daikatana some deserved credit, it isolates each episode into a different time period, each with a different arsenal of weapons. In practice, each quarter of the game is composed of mildly
Look at that
different
snake staff. That's fucking crazy, dude. Canvas, what's up? How's it going, bro? How you doing, man?
aesthetics, mechanics, and design principles. This is genuinely pretty cool. I really like the third episode, particularly for a sequence where the player
Yeah,
has
that's
to
cool.
locate and kill 3 mages to steal their various
Where it goes through
elemental
different time
staves.
stuff.
And honestly, it's pretty cool. It's like Daikatana probably at its best. There is a novelty to each episode resetting the player's weapon arsenal because in theory, this means each new weapon can be utilized as a mechanical and narrative driver. But Daikatana never really identifies that, and so most weapons in the game are quirky gimmicks you pick up and forget about. It's not a game that gives the player a tool and then challenges them to find specific use cases for that tool.
Prime.
Everything is just a means of killing with slightly different efficiency. It's a missed opportunity in that each episode could have structured itself around each weapon being vital to interacting with the environment or dispatching specific threats, but it doesn't do that, so it ends up being another generic dungeon crawl where rockets and auto-fire weapons are king. What Daikatana is most unilaterally known for is its AI
No, I don't play Roblox, bruh. Not a big fan of the Roblox.
companions. The main character, Hiro Miyamoto,
I'm too old.
Yep, is in a party with Makiko and Superfly. It's a not at all subtle parallel to the typical JRPG party. Think Chrono Trigger. In Daikatana, 3 crucial elements are to blame. 1. Party members can be killed in real time by their environment, triggering a player lost state.
Yep, that's what basically happens.
2. Levels cannot be completed until all party members physically catch up to the exit door.
Escort missions in a
And
boomer
I can't
shooter.
leave without Makiko.
I can't leave without my buddy Superfly.
I can't leave
No, bro.
without Makiko and I can't leave without Makiko. I can't leave without my buddy Superfly.
I can't leave without my buddy Superfly. I'm too old to play Roblox. And it's kind of bad business practices they follow at Roblox. Isn't it true that Chris Hansen got banned? Whoa, your brother's the owner? Whoa, dude, my dad works at Nintendo.
I can't leave without Makiko and Superfly.
You can't leave without my buddy Superfly.
JRPG parties work because combat is stationary, and most of the time, the player retains full control over their party members' actions. So when Makiko falls behind and gets ganked by some shit you didn't even see, you don't really feel a sense of responsibility for it.
Yeah.
You know nightmares. You know nightmares.
He just got stabbed to death by a spear guy. I
Daikatana
love that yell.
Come
Come on!
They know your depraved region.
Daikatana paces itself as if you're at all allowed to break line of sight with your party. There's even a skill tree with mobility bonuses in it. But
Yeah, the
these
skill
bonuses
tree is
only
weird. Why would you do a first-person shooter with a skill tree? Good God.
apply to Hiro and not to his followers. So the game
Supposed to be an
implies the
RPG,
player
Romero.
can speed up their movement,
crazy
but
fuck.
structurally the AI companions actively punish you for doing so.
Oh yeah, because they don't have stats too, so your AI wouldn't move faster with you. And that's even weird too. You have a movement stat in a game that's supposed to be a focus on its movement speed.
Everything Daikatana wants to be is at odds with what Daikatana functionally is.
I'm sorry
It
if your
wants to
bro's
be
dead.
an explorative FPS
lame.
JRPG, but it has no idea how to marry JRPG concepts into first-person shooters, so the parts are constantly thrashing against each other. These aren't unsolvable problems, but it requires a thorough understanding of why the systems aren't working, so you know
How would you use some of YouTube? I just stream on it. I used to make some shorts and stuff like that, but that was about it.
what to redesign or
I need to
introduce
edit
to
some
bring
more
it
videos
together. These are features that necessitate a really competent systems programmer. That's not to say Ion Storm lacked talent, but there was certainly no John Carmack in the room.
Yeah.
Lack of restraint comes with it both the freedom to shoot for the moon and the freedom to
That's
keep
cool, man.
shooting your own foot long after it's
YouTube is
gone
cool.
numb. Daikatana's foot is a stub. This is why consistent design logic is essential. Without it, the player has no ground to stand on. Is this a problem I shoot at, stand on, interact with, or is it irrelevant? If the player can't discern which is which at a glance, then what's the point of this? What's the point of the video game? To turn focus back towards Quake 1 for a moment, the inherent benefit of a stripped-down blue key, yellow key system is that there's zero room for misinterpretation. A blue door always requires a blue key, and while a button doesn't necessarily convey what exactly it's affecting, Quake implores phenomenal leading of the eye to constantly place a button in immediate view of what it's affecting, or at the very least, a Jayquazian layout leads the player where they need to go. Bafflingly, Romero was specifically known for his philosophy notoriety back in Doom and Quake for utilizing landmarks to guide the player's attention. So much like Quake 2 having the answer but
Jaquazian.
failing to identify the problem, Daikatana had the answer to a problem it couldn't identify. Daikatana does have genuine moments of novel curiosity. Most of them are just undercut by bad design. Part of why this video took so long to make is Daikatana sucked so much that I just didn't want to finish it for like 4 months. The more you learn
don't
about
blame
Quake
you.
2 and Daikatana, the more you understand the unreplicable charm of both Doom and even Quake 1. Carmack's unshakable engine-first programming was the left brain to
That's
Romero's
cool.
aesthetically explorative right brain. Not
What do
to
you usually- what kind of
discredit
YouTube
the
videos
countless
usually make,
creative
bruh?
people involved across all of id Software's history, but I think even they would agree that id was at its strongest when it had a top-down balance of technological innovation with creative vision. Quake was the last glimpse we really got of that balance, but even by then, the balance had already shifted towards one direction. Quake 2 and Daikatana are the natural conclusions of each component being ripped apart and forced to compete in isolation. They're textbook examples of what happens to a system desperate to evolve yet undisciplined in its methodology. They exemplify
That's such a great point to look at Quake as the splitting of its ideals and methodologies of game design when Quake 2 into Quake 2 and Daikatana when the team split up. That's sick.
system that is sufficiently disciplined but so
What kind of
narrow
YouTube
in
videos do you
scope.
usually do? Roblox?
It's not even fun. There is a very human story beneath the softwares, about a team struggling with the reins of success, them ultimately losing that spark, and ending up fractured into less notable derivatives, but ultimately they made some cool video
That's
games.
cool, man.
It's a cautionary tale of never resting on your laurels, never mistaking your own success for an inability to backslide in quality. It's a reminder to consider not just what games are, but also why games are.
Why
Every
games
design
are-
decision was a choice made somewhere along the way. These guys, for all their missteps, were real people learning the act of making through first principles. That alone is possibly the most grounding explanation for why a bad game can still be made by real people with honest intentions.
We wrote these things here.
Yeah, this is like tons of ideas. I mean, when we started, it was like one big world, and then it's just like no, we got to do level to level. Don't innovate
Carmack.
that. Don't innovate that.
It's like there are so many of those things that you sit around, you're like, this would be awesome in a game, and then when it comes down to actually like making it in the game.
At least they're talking again. Flight is the game or what? You're looking at as strong as Battlegrounds. I don't know what you're saying.
Justin's coming to keep on dropping knowledge on me. It's fun study.
Oh, he did his own little song. That's so sick. Yeah, that took you a while, Funk, to make that video. What was the last one you made? That was over a year ago. Fucking Deadlock. I'm gonna have to go through some of his videos again. I love his style of essay. Default also gamer the bomb mo funkin' turtleneck. I love his style. All right, time for some Doom. I just had to finish up that video. That was a really interesting video. The study and breakdown behind id Software into Doom and Quake and what became after that for the next 10 years is so goddamn interesting. FPS history is so interesting. It all stemmed from a reason. All right. Speaking of boomer shooters and Doom, here we are. Back to the campaign. I think I've made it further than I ever have before now in this campaign. Is this the end?
Commander, he's on site. Good. Get a team ready to sweep the forest when we're done.
How's that looking on
I'm
stream?
meeting him at the forge.
Uh-oh. My computer CPU is getting messed up. Streamlabs has been so weird with me lately. Oh, you got hacked? Probably from playing Roblox. I wonder if... Where am I looking? Here. Let's go high. Oh, thanks. Still look good. Nice little forest area. Yeah, I can't remember seeing too many forest areas in Doom games, actually. Now I think back on it. Doom 2016 didn't really have much. Doom Eternal had like swamp areas.
This forest for generations.
Generations. I see you. Get the fuck out of here. Ah! I don't know, man. Oh. It's a single player game anyway. Why is my GPU suffering so much? Yellow. Yellow key. Pretty graphic. Ooh. More yellow
You need
key.
a key to continue through that gate.
I see it. Thank you, woman. Woman. Oh, thanks, bro. I don't really need help with my stream, though. Get the fuck out of here. Shield toss. In America. Oh, wow. Okay. What's down here? Oh, gold. Give me that gold. Fucking real cool kid energy. Give me that yellow key. You. Ugh.
That's it.
You don't look too
The
good,
gate will
dude.
open now.
You need some, like, cream on that or something. Ah. There we go. Get out of here, Revenant. The redesign of the Revenant, redesigned Revenant. It's hard to say. It's really cool, actually. What the? Come on. Get her gone. Where's the empowered demon? There's an empowered demon somewhere. Oh, there you are. Give me that green. Green is key. Get out of here. Ah! Alright, I gotta get up there and kill that fucking... I forget the name of these guys. Ugh. Okay, cool. You're fine, dude. I gotta get up early for work tomorrow. Oh. Oh. Okay, cool. Ooh.
We lost hundreds when they took control of the mine.
Cool. Hope you had a good piss. Piss is stored in the balls. Oh, fuck. Fucking cyber demon. Get out of here. Take that. Take that. Badass Chungus. What the? Fucking things. Teleport out of here. Damn. Oh, big sword. Big sword? Big demon sword? I don't... I go around. Am I missing a secret? I am. I'm missing secrets. Give me this. Oh. Ooh, Wawa. Ooh. Gold up there. Lit. Fucking Hell Knight. Ooh. Emerald. Rupee. I feel like my stream quality's dying still. I don't know why. What if we did like one of these? Does that help? Oh, my background? Dragon Ball Z. Cell baby. Go away, Hell. Hell yeah. Hey. Hey. Cool. Let me know what you think about it. Ah. God. So many parries. Right. Ah. Go to shield.
The mine shut down after the attack, but the forge still has power. The demons are drawn to it.
Guess 666. Watching the movie. Doing a lot real quick. Itch. Alright. Give me your ammo. There is a secret down there. Give me that gold. Ow. That revenant just tore apart. Did you say your brother was dead? Some shit. Hey. I actually buy any upgrades? Not for that. I don't even care about the pulverizer, really. Paler I like, so I guess I'll buy that.
Mira, the Slayer has reached the cliffside barracks.
Take the armor. Oh, yay! No more. Die fast though. Come on. None of that. For those. Oh my god. Oh, it's your little brother. Hell yeah. Ah! That was bad. Ooh! Full health for armor. Do it. Fucking parried. That. Ah, got stuck on terrain. Give me your fucking heart. Why are we skipping frames? Why is my stream having such a tough time? Oh, Mesa, what's up? Good to see you. Give me a sec. Might have to restart my stream. It's having issues. Don't know why. Yeah, I remember you. What's going on, man? Swear to God, something was bothering you. Yeah, my stream having issues. That's what bothered me. Something was behind me, then disappeared? Yeah, it's Sans. It's Trunks. Yeah, I remember you, Mesa. What's up? Why are you having such issues? Doom shouldn't be taking that much CPU from you. Computer. Let's see here. Good, man. Been working on moving. Yeah, I might restart stream here. Uno momento, gentlemen. Uno momento. Give me one moment. I'm gonna